Thank you so much for joining us today, Bjorn, and for giving us your time. Firstly, how's the quarantine going?
Yeah, it's been a bit boring to be honest. Not gonna lie, but luckily we are used to um, quarantining and those sort of things. I haven't quarantined for 6 days to be honest, so the last 2 days could be a bit interesting.
What's it like to quarantine with your wife?
Yeah, it's weird. I'm not gonna lie. I'm used to being on tour by myself. Luckily, she was able to accompany me this time. It's just nice having another voice in the room, keeping me sane and just having a nice conversation sometimes. But just keen to get out there now.
And what's it like being a newlywed? I mean, you guys have been married for a few months now. How has that been? And are there any new insights into yourself that you have discovered as a husband?
Yeah, it's been enjoyable. We haven't been able to go on honeymoon or all those sort of things. With all the cricket coming thick and fast. So it's nice to just spend some time together as well, spend some time in a new environment, and get to see the tour life as well. Um, Marriage itself hasn't changed a lot in our relationship. We were quite young when we met, and we sort of experienced all of these new things together. And it's enjoyable just to have someone there that understands you and knows what makes you tick along with the ride.
And moving on to cricket, I mean, your journey it's included quite a lot of weight, quite a lot of time where you did a lot of playing and proving of yourself. Um, how do you stay patient during that waiting period where you feel as though, yes, you are in and around being seen, and selectors are having conversations with you, and coaches are having conversations with you, and yet you're not getting that game time. What does it take for you to stay patient and to stay grinding during that period?
I think a big thing for myself personally was just trusting the process, just backing your ability and making sure that when the opportunity does come that you're ready for it. I'm quite fortunate to have quite a few of my teammates from the Lions with me here. So um, they've been along with me for the journey from the beginning. Um, just making sure that my mindset and those sort of things are right for when the opportunity does come. I won't lie, there were some challenging times where I thought that um, this goal was quite far out of reach, but just staying patient, just staying true to my game, staying true to myself as a person did help that process.
When you got that call, or when you were sat down to be told that you're coming to the T20 World Cup and that you've been selected, how did that finally feel?
Obviously, I was quite happy in the moment, but I don't think it really sunk in the magnitude of, the event and representing your country at these sort of tournaments. I don't think that really sunk in until about when we got together in Durban, and you could see the excitement on the guys' faces. Guys that have experienced this sort of thing before, you could see that they were gearing themselves up for a massive challenge, and that's sort of when it hits you, and you're like, okay, it's time to get down to business. I'm just excited to be a part of it. Excited to represent my country on the stage, and um, we'll do our best to bring the trophy home.
How did it feel when you got that blazer?
It was quite emotional. You always see um, your heroes growing up wearing the blazer at events such as the awards night, or if they're at the airport departing for a massive tour or something, you always see photos of that. And to finally see that with my name on the inside was quite special, and something that I'll hold true to my heart forever.
That blazer has a very special meaning to a lot of people. It's almost like getting capped all over again, right?
Yeah, it is. It is quite similar to getting capped all over again. Um, a lot of players get to play for their country, but having that blazer, it's something special. It's sort of like a token that you are part of something special. You're part of something unique, um, and that's something that I really feel privileged to be a part of. Um, Obviously, you want to emulate your heroes growing up and that sort of thing. Hopefully, we can go one step further this time and sort of seal off the deal, if I can say so.
Yeah, let's talk about this this location. I mean, it's really hot. As you are drinking water, which is great, as Dumi has suggested and has advised us. Um, how hot is it, and what goes through your mind as you sit outside and you just feel the heat from a shaded area, and you think about, jeepers, what's going to happen once we get to practice?
I'm not gonna lie. I've asked myself a couple of times, how are we gonna play cricket in this heat? It's something that I haven't experienced before. I mean, it's just past 11, and it feels like it's been baking outside for hours. Yeah, so that's going to be a massive challenge for us, um, trying to stay mentally strong within this environment. Obviously, everything that we need is sort of here for us to succeed. It's just getting our minds right, and the weather is going to be part of those challenges as well. I haven't experienced anything like this, to be honest.
And so, working out the physical and the mental, how crucial does that then become?
I think the two go hand in hand. Um, without the mental, the physical is quite useless, and the same vice versa. So it's going to be very challenging in this environment, especially with the duration that we're going to be. It's quite a while before we play our first game, and the big thing about that is just making sure we peak at the right time. We've got a couple of warm-up games, we've got a couple of training sessions, but as soon as that first ball's bowled against Australia, we've got to make sure that we're in the right space to hit the ground running.
That, as you speak about Australia, do you, as a Proteas team, still feel as though, I know it's the team's first appearance at the World Cup, but is there extra motivation when the Proteas play against a team like Australia?
I think there's extra motivation whenever you play against these big teams. If I look at the World Cup, there's about 6 or 7 teams that could win the tournament on paper, and we've got to be ready for each and every one of them. Obviously, there's quite a bit of history regarding Australia, and what happened at the '99 World Cup and those sort of things. We can't control that. That's in the past. We've got to focus on our journey over here, and we've got to make sure that, like I said, when that first ball is bowled, we've got to hit the ground running, and we've got to, win every punch in that game. The same goes for any other team.
Do you feel any added pressure knowing that there's so much expectation for the team in this World Cup, especially being one of the few that have not and should probably have in the past won a Cricket World Cup by now?
Yeah, there's definitely pressure. I'd be lying if I said that there wasn't pressure. But that was always going to be the case, whether we've won a World Cup before or not. There was always going to be expectation placed upon our shoulders, and people expect the best of our country as cricketers. So um, there's always going to be pressure, and it's down to us to make sure how we embrace that. Um, we can either embrace it and use it as energy and as a driving force, or we could crumble under it. That's a very realistic possibility. The big challenge for us is making sure how we handle those big moments, and handling those big moments as a team.
You're a man who likes the big moments. You look like a guy who enjoys those high pressure moments, particularly when I think back to the final of, I think it was the CSA T20 challenge, and how you took the ball and you just were ice cold in that really, really hot moment. What is it about these big pressure and high pressure moments for you that you enjoy?
Uh, I'm not sure how to answer that really. Obviously, there's big pressure in games. I wouldn't say that the pressure is different going game to game. It's just pressure that you've got to deal with. There's no point in trying to shy away from it or trying to hide away. Um, I feel like if you face it head on and accept the challenge, there's a bigger chance of you succeeding than trying to hide away and sort of let your teammates carry you through those situations. And that's going to be key for us as well. We've got to make sure that we hit these high pressure situations as a unit and make sure we can conquer them together. It's not just about the individual that can stand up in the big moments. It's also about uh, how the team can keep him up in that situation, whether he's doing well or not doing so well.
You did incredibly well in the last series against Sri Lanka, the last T20 series. Does that give you confidence going into these conditions, particularly considering the similarities between the conditions weather-wise?
Yeah, it's always nice coming off a series where you do contribute towards a winning cause. I'm very happy with my performances there. Obviously, there's still room for a bit of improvement, not just myself, but from our team from a batting front and a bowling front, a fielding front. There's always going to be room for improvement. But yeah, it's nice to come into the tournament with a bit of confidence. Hopefully, we can, get some sort of intel from the guys playing in the IPL regarding conditions, regarding field dimensions, those sort of things. And it's just about using your resources and your information the best as best you can. And I think that's what helped us in Sri Lanka. We had the T20, the ODI series just before the T20 games. I felt we started a bit slow in that series, but we had the information, we had the prep, and when that T20 series came, we just hit the ground running, and that helped us quite a bit.
And finally, you mentioned the IPL guys. It's how great, how much value are these guys going to bring? 7 guys in the IPL coming in. Majority of them have had quite a lot of game time, and also done pretty well. How much confidence does that give you guys, or an injection of energy and all of that, just knowing that you've got these guys coming in and also the experience and the knowledge that they're going to bring?
Yeah, obviously the information that they'll bring back is invaluable. They'll be playing against guys that will be at the tournament as well. So they'll bring back quite a bit of info that will help us prepare for that first game and beyond. And above that, they're all world-class players as well. Each one of them are match winners in their own right. And there'll be a massive boost for us as a squad. Just having that new fresh energy coming into the camp will be massive. And add on top of that the ability as cricket players, it's quite a big gain for us as a unit.
Thanks very much for chatting to me, Bjorn, and have a great day.
Cheers, Subs. Thank you.